Wait, last class product form is ready. So we are clicking like slash products. Slash products means what is ready, guys? Here, product form is ready. Once you got the product form, double click on that file. Slash, you can write the products. We write the products, we got the product form. A product form contains some default values you got. For the default values, you got brand and quantity. If you want, you can change the default values, but by default, the quantity will be selected over because two right. And we have the Apple brand and the price and the product name is. So yes, you fill the details, click on what button here, save button. Once if we click on the save button, fill the details and click on what button here, save button. Once if we click on the save button, go for the add product.html. In the form is like this is a file, right? Add product.html. Add product what? HTML. See guys, you fill the form and click on what button here? Save button. When you click on the save button, then what happened? So here the details are comes to what is server side. So you fill the form. See, first of all, first step is what get the form. Second step is what send the details to server. I told the two forms, right? Static form and what dynamic form. Static form that is what to get the data and send the data. And but this is a static or dynamic. Dynamic form is what to get the form. Step one. Step two is what to send the data to what server. So you fill the details. After filling the details, see now, after filling the details, and we have the th colon action attribute. And after filling the details, you are sending what request, get request or post request or post request. Because you are sending the details means what? Definitely you post request. This is a URL, guys. We need to check this URL. What the URL here? The URL is written with the, after filling the details, click on the submit button. When you click on the submit button, then what happens, guys? When we click on the submit button, tell me, guys, last class we done the first step. You enter the form data. After filling the form data, after what? Filling the form data. So guys, last class we done this errors. Right. Fill the form data, click on what button here. Yeah, this is the form tag guys here. And THQL object last class we done guys, keep aside. THQL object means what it is pointing to model object. THQL field is pointing to what the form fields to the model attribute fields. And when you fill the form, okay, next one is what guys, fill the fill what? Fill the form and click on what button? Click on save. Fill the form, click on save button, guys. The first one is what? The post request send to server. Post request send to what? Server. And second one is the URL. The URL is post request send to server means this is called method equal to what request, guys? Data setting is what request? Post request. Data setting is post request. This is sending to the server. Number one. And second one is what is here? The URL. When you click on the save button, this is a URL sent to what server. This is a URL sent to server, right? The post request sent to server, and the URL what send it to server. Server to do the action, right? To do the what you can say guys here action. What the URL guys telling you? th colon action. When th colon action is a URL, guys, this is a URL you have to send. So finally, when you fill the form, then you fill what? Form. Fill the form. After filling the form, action is what? Okay, fill the form and click on what button? Save button. When you click on the save button, then what happens? What request is sent to server side? You fill the form and click on the save button. What request is come to server side? Post request is come to server side and the URL comes to server side. What the URL come to server side? Product slash that is a URL guys. Action tag contains URL which is starts with what? At the rate. Starts with what? At the rate. That's it guys. That's what you can come to the server side and you write the controller. This is the get mapping to get the form. After getting the form, you are sending the details to server. What request you have to write? Post mapping. What mapping? Yeah, post mapping. Tell me guys, at the rate what mapping? Yeah, post mapping. Tell me at the rate what mapping? Yeah, post mapping. At the rate post mapping, you give the URL. When you fill the form and send the details, right? Send the details server now. You fill the form now. The form contains what the URL here. Product slash save. That is a post URL. Product slash save. Product slash what? Save. Because he can write the always data type should be what data type is here string because it returns the view names. Return the view names is what either success or whatever failure. Public string. Tell me this is what save product. What you can say save product data something like that. And see when you click on the save, when you click on what save, when you click on the save, what request sent to server side? Post request sent to server side number one. And what URL you are sending to server side? Product slash save. And what object you are sending to server side means this is object guys. Th colon what object. This is the object sending to server side. What object you are sending to server side guys here? P is good, product is good. Here if I change the data, in the get call also you please modify what. This is the P na product right. See because you are sending the product object while getting the details, right? See, you do like two actions type. Action one, get the form first. Action one is what? Get the form. Get the form first. Keep aside. After completion of the form is ready, then think about the next step is what? Fill the form and fill the form and what? Send the details. Right? That is data guys here. Just you can write this is a product. The model object contains this is not previous example here. Is a product object you are sending, right? Exactly. Yes, you click on the save button. When you click on the save button, tell me guys, fill the form. Click on what button here? Save. Tell me when you click on fill the form data, click on what? Fill the form data, click on what button here? Save button. When you click on the save button, then what happens? First step is what? You are sending what request to server? Post request to server, guys. Post request to server number one. Number two is what? What you are sending to server? Product slash save. The third point is like what object you are sending to server. Your product object is there. What object you are what sending to server guys. See th colon acts the form tag contains three attributes. So the three attributes th colon object is there. Object equal to braces. Object what is syntax? Star dollar I think. Yeah dollar. Field contains star. This is what it is your product. When we fill the form, click on what button here? Save. So you should have the clarity that what data we are filling and where we are clicking the button, guys. You fill the form and click on what button here? Save. Then what URL come to server here? Post request comes to server. Then post mapping got executed. The post request sent it to server. Post request sent it to what? Server. Post request send it to server. Second one is what? URL will send it to server. Third one is what? Object send it to server. Object is sent it to what? If I ask like person when I click on the save button, what happened means you have to tell these three things. Sir, when you click on the save button, sir, post request you are sending to server with product object with the URL is what? Product slash save. See for the first point, this is all about the client side beta. When you click on one button, save button. Even these all are done what side? Server side or client side? Client is sending what request? This post request server side mapping to what? Server side. What it is mapping? You are sending what request? Post request is server side. What should execute? Post mapping executed. You are sending what request? Server side what should be executed? Exactly. That is like post we can say what mapping. The post mapping got executed. You are sending what URL? Product slash save. Server side that post mapping contains what URL? Post mapping. Tell me post mapping braces slave. Just you can write what? Product slash save. That's it. This is a product object, right? This is what? Product object. Server side you are writing the method, right? What the method you are writing server side? Server side you are writing the this is like what? Save data, no? What data? Save data. This is the client side. This is what client side. The post request send to server. At server side post mapping. Client is sending this URL. Server side this is a URL. Client is sending the object. That object is what? Handled by. Tell me guys, that object is what? Handled by. save product data method argument, right? Method argument. For the method argument, product, and you can write the product like this. That's it. So, okay, this is the post mapping means @ post mapping. URL means @ post mapping of URL. Product means method argument. Post means what? Object means what? Method argument. Method argument, what object it is? Model object, right? Object, model object. That's what guys. In REST APIs, to handle the employee data, what annotation we use? In REST APIs, to handle what? REST APIs, your client is giving what the JSON object, right? How you handle the JSON object? What annotation we use it? What annotation? Request body, right? Some what you can say, the JSON object is coming, we are capturing the request body using what? @ request body annotation, right? The same way, guys, to capture this model object, product, product is a model object, right? We need to use one annotation @ model attribute. What? Model attribute. @ model attribute is responsible to capture the model data. What data guys? See, in REST APIs we have what annotation? Request body. Request body is capturing the request body, but here request body used the model attribute used the model attribute is used to capture what data. So that's it. Once you have the clarity about this tree, your MVC is done. Remaining all are same process you can do. Just we need to think about what we are clicking, what method you are sending. When you click on the button something guys, how many steps you need to focus? 3 things. One is what request you are sending to server. Second step is what is the URL you should execute and what data you are sending to server. Here what data? Product data. Maybe other cases you send the ID data, email data, depends. So when you click on the big buttons, how many steps you need to think? 3 steps. What 3 steps tell me? What request you are sending? Either get request or post request or what request you are sending. Second one is what? What URL you are sending to server to map the URLs. What URL you are sending. Third one is what? What object you are sending. What object or you can say what what input. What input you are sending to what? Server. What input you are sending to server. Wait, that's it, guys. Once if you are good at these 3 points, you are good at what? MVC completed task. Now let me finish the post. Yesterday class we done the get. And today is what? Post. That's it. That is called post, guys. When you click on the, you feel first you don't mix like this concept and the get the form concept. You think like 2 different concepts. Concept one is get the form. Concept one is what? When you get the form, you don't think about this action tag and method equal post. This all you don't think. This all you should think when you send the details to server. When you send the details to server. First step is what? Get the form. Get the form means you write simply get married. Right? What? Get married. How many steps is here? Dynamic form. I told last class static form and what? Dynamic form. Dynamic forms, how many steps here? 2 steps. Step 1 is what? Get the form displaying browser first. Displaying what? Browser. That's it. Get the form and display browser first. Get the form and display in the browser first. Guys. Step 2 is what? Process the data. Process the data. Good. How many steps? 2 steps. Get the form and process the data. Process the data. When you click on the save button, then what happened? When you click on the save button, when you click on the save button, you think what request client is sending to server. Post request. Good. The answer is simple. Question. So. Here I can go with what? When we click on the button, when we click on what? Button. When we click on the button, how many questions? 3 questions. Question 1. What type of request a client send to server? Client is form, browser side. What type of request the client send to what you can say server? The client is sent to server. Second question is what? What URL client send it to server, because that URL and the server URL both should be matched. What URL client send to server? Client send it to what? What URL client send it to what? Server. Third step is what? What input? Maybe the object, maybe the single value, and what input the client is sent to server. What type of request that client sent to server? What URL client sent it to server? And what is the input data client sends to what? Server. These three questions are important. See, last time class also written some questions, right? Entire class overview, that is questions important. Because general that questions you should think, but I decided you are busy with works. That's what I'm writing the questions of you. Yes or no? When the sir is discussing subject, these questions who has to think, the audience has to think, okay, what data sir is sending to server, what URL sending to server, and what method sending to server. The general you should think and you should handle. But you guys are busy now. That's what I written the questions also. I even MVC and rest also what? I written the question, right? Yes or no? Yes, sir. Because you guys are busy with sleeping and what's words? Busy with sleeping and busy with other works. That's what. Hey, that's it, guys. We don't know work. So you become what bank by executing same product data. See guys, here you write the @, what annotation model attribute. Model attribute, what object we are capturing the product. Product to product. That's all. You give this product to what layer? Service layer. Service layer to what layer? Recursion layer. You can save the data. Service layer, I'm not writing any logic guys, but you write some logic like product total amount calculation, tax calculations, whatever it may be. In the REST APIs, I discussed some logic slides. Yes sir, no. Yes sir. You add some logic, what the logic you want. You don't want any logic, simply can save it. That's up to you. That is what up to you. I think in my system I don't have the service classes. I think let me go check the service classes present or not. Go for the SRC main Java. Okay, service class is there. What class is there? Service class. Product to service is there. And tell me, service is there, controller is there. One more is what? Repository class. Right click at the new, I want to take the interface because repository is a class interface. What interface here? Product, tell me guys, product what? Repository. I told the setup should be ready. I think which yeah. See guys, when I think we didn't use the sub package. That's what guys, that is not good here. You please click on what? Delete. Click on the delete, click on OK. You right click on what? Main package. Right click on the main package, click on the new. I want to take what? Interface. First of all, give the sub package name. What is sub package name? Tell me repository sub package name. And here you can give the interface name. What the repository product repository. Click on enter button. As you know that it should extend what repository is here. It should extend what repository? JPL repository. You go for extend keyword extend. JPL is a repository is a least chain, so that you can use all the parent data here. JPL repository of type. What type is here? Product type. Type is what? Product. You please go through the product class, model class. You please cross check required annotations are there or not. I think here model related annotations are there, but what is required here is entity annotation. At the rate entity, you know validations already, right? You add the validations if you want, otherwise you can ignore it. That's up to you. Sir, validation annotation. ID should be you given auto generator. To make this is a primary key column at the rate ID attribute required. Next one is what? At the rate generated value. At the rate generated value, just you can write what? Strategy. What you can say here? Strategy equal to what? Auto. Generation type is what? Auto comment. That's it, guys. That is enough. That is what? Enough. Entity related annotations I placed here. Go for the what you can say here, repository. Product ID is what type is long type. You can keep the long type. Meanwhile, you please cross check that is a long type is present or not. is an integer type presenter. See guys, this is what long type, no problem. And you can so model class is ready. Then you can go for the controller. And in the controller, what you should do? Auto wiring is done now? No. Let me go for the auto wiring. What is auto wiring? What please tell me? Service should be auto wiring. Controller, that's what you can go for what? Iterate auto wire. This one is what? Product. Huh? Product, you can write the product service. Product what? Service. I mean, why the product service annotation should be at what? Service. This is product service. Then you can come to the file, just you can type what? Product service. Product service and product service. Go for the product service, you please auto by the data. Product service object, what you require? What dependency you require? Repository dependency required. This is one is what? Product repository. I think product repository also we didn't use what? Repository annotation. At the rate what annotation and repository annotation. Come to this class. Where is the class? Service class. In the service class, what we should auto wait tell me? At the rate auto, right? Product. Product repository. Product repository. Product repository lines. Then you can come to the file. Already automating is done. You got the URL. What request is coming from the client? Post request. Post mapping. What URL comes from the client? Product slash slave. What object is coming from the client? Using how to capture that object? You please cross check this one. Client is sending the post request means server side post mapping. Client is sending the URL like this, server side post mapping URL. Client is sending the object means server side at the rate what? Model attribute. At what attribute? Yeah. Now you can write the. This is all the common about the REST API. What we done save modifier. Save product data. Just you can give the what object is product object as input. You please create the method. So this is a creation of method. Just directly I'm going to save the product. How to save the product? Product repository save. Save of what amount product. That's it. Product repository what? Save. Product repository what? Save. Product repository not what amount? Save. That's it. After saving, what I will do? After saving in REST API what we done? After saving, what you return? After saving, what you return? The response the unit is after saving. Yeah, after saving, what you return means what you saved that object is returned. What you saved what? That object is returned. That's what guys. After saving, I will return that object what I saved here. Just you can go for this is what data here. Product here. Just you can go for the product. Then come back. And after saving, what you are returning here? Product, right? Now you call this save product service layer method. After saving, what he returns? After saving, what he returns? Huh? After saving, he return the product. Product, right? Just you can write the product what? P something like that. Product P. Otherwise, you simply can write the saved product. That is a good idea. After saving, he is written one product here, saved product. Once he return the saved product, but this controller should return what string. Returns what? Union. Controller should return what mom. Controller should return what data? Union. What name? Union, right? Let me check the small if condition. If the saved product not equal to null, not equal to null means data present or not present? Data is what? Present. Data present means simply can go for what? Return. Tell me guys, return what? Return, this is called success file. Then success means what file got executed? Success.html file got executed. Because return type is what? Response entity of user. Return type is a views. That's what return what? Success file. Then saved product is there. There means what? Return success. Then success.html file got executed. You can write the else block. Tell me guys, else block is what? Return. This is like product type for success.html. Next one is what this here? Return. Will be written what? Product type Product type from what? Fail.html file. This is the return type is what? String. String means what? Returns the object, return the view name. Returns what? View name it is written, right? That's it. Then how many HTML files you have to create total here? Two. What is what? Product success. Where we should create the HTML files? In templates folder. Where is the templates folder? Where is the template folder? SRC main resource. What folder? Template. Previously we have to add product HTML. You rightly click on what? New. I want take what? I want take what? Go for others better. In others, here you can select what? HTML. If you select this HTML and just you can give the file name product success dot file that is written right. Okay, success.html file. Then here you should add that is the database product controller. Control returns what? View names. Product controller here we have to give what? Success. Fine. Then you can go for what? The product failed. And you can go for the HTML file under what folder? Template folder. Right click new. I want to take what? Others. Others here you can take the file HTML file. And this is a product of failed or what? HTML. But that's it. Yes. I don't want to write much code here. Just you can let me add some h1 tag. Product what? Save. Product save what? Successfully. Product what? Save successfully. That's a static message actually. This one you write the style. Style is what? Color. You can write the green. Product. This is what file guys? Product success.html. Then we got the message is what everything is going to product saved successful. Go for the product fail guys. The fail is like this. Just you can write the which one? Product what? Product success failed. Product fail to save. Fail to save. Product is what? Failed to save. That's it guys. Just you can write the h1 tag. Just you can write h1 tag. Product failed to save. For this one, just you can write the style, color, red. Just let me give a color. Just check the flow working or not. That's all. We clear. So last class we got the what is displayed here. Form is displayed. What is displayed? Form is displayed. You enter the form details. Potato and price is 100. Brand is what? Apple brand. Something like quantity is 2. Click on one button. Save. Once if we click on the save button, what URL sent to what method is sent to server? What request is sent to server? Post request. Server side what you should write? Post mapping. What URL you sent to server? Server side what URL you should write? Slash slave. Or slash what? Client side what object you are sending? Server side model attribute should be matched. What attribute should be matched? Like that's it, yes, it doesn't go. Just you can check these 3 questions, that's all for definitions. I simply can, I think database is not ready now. Database ready or not ready? Database is not ready. You install MySQL database, right, all of you? Once you install the MySQL database, guys, we got the MySQL command line client. You open that wall, MySQL command line client. Login chain. MySQL command line client. What the password? What is the password? In MySQL, first you create one database. Create one? Database. How to get a database? Create database. Database name we have to give. What is the database name? Sleepy. The database name is Sleepy. Create a database. Then use the database. How to use the database here? Use Sleepy. Now we are using what database? Now we are using sleeping database. Now we are using sleeping database. Just let me go for the show tables. In sleeping database, as of many tables are there? no tables are present. What database you are using as your slave? That's it. You create a database, use the database. That's all. Only two steps. So you said like create a database, use a database. Nice. Where I should give the details? Application or what? Property file. See guys, this is MySQL URL, MySQL driver class name, MySQL username. But the username here root, password also root. But when you give a URL, you please cross check once. JDBC colon MySQL colon localhost colon 3306. Okay, this is called database name, product DB. Here you please give the database name slash. What the database name? Where's the database name is what? Sleeping. As the database name, you need to give like sleeping here. JDBC colon MySQL slash localhost 3306 sleeping is database name, right? Exactly. That's it, guys. Database name you give. Because table we should create or create it. Data we should insert a save button is inserted. So just in MySQL, I done only two steps: create a database, use a database. Use the database. That's it, guys. Just click and let me run this project. I click on the project and what? Click on start. Once you click on the start, you please check the URLs. First of all, get the form. What the URL to get the form? Slash products. Slash what? Products. See guys, definitely table is created. You please cross check. Yeah. Series one table is created and created. But a table is your product. What contains the ID, brand, name, price, quantity. That's okay, fine. Carry it on. That is the data, guys. See here, if you see, this is insert into product sequence values of what? Starts from 1. It means it is using like sequence identity. It's using what object? Hey, auto generation strategy is how many strategies? One is the identity sequence table. Auto means what generation type? It will take anyone. Here, what it is using sequence values. It means it's creating separate table. See guys, this is a table for the sequence numbers. Create table, product to sequence. It's using like sequence generation strategy. What strategy? Sequence generation strategy. Guys, you enter the product, you got the product, just you click on the refresh. Now you can check the product is coming or not. Yeah, just you can write the potato. Tell me guys, potato price is how much guys here? 100. Brand is what something. Quantity is what 2 by default I'm getting. I want to five products, something like that. Click on what button guys here? Save. Once you click on the save, then what request is sending to server? Post request is sending to server. What URL sending to server? Product slash save is sending to server. What object sending to server? I saved the database. After saving, what I return to you? If the data saved means what? Product success form. What I'm giving that. These all are return type is what? User. What I return to you? Product success. If it is failed means what file is here? Product. That's it. Yes. You click on what button here? Save. See guys, once you click on the save. Yeah. Now we got the message is what? Product saved successfully. Product saved successfully. This is a message you got. You please go and check your what database. HTTP database or MySQL database. MySQL database. In MySQL database, what database we are using here? Saving database. Here, what you can say here? Select. Will be selected. Start from. Select start from. Let's start from what? Product. Here we expected what that product object. Once the product object is coming, saving process over. Process over. Yeah, click on the database. Now we got the data. We got the ID, brand, name, price, quantity. See guys, changing the database, nothing to know. Just to change the some properties. That's all. Did I change any data here? Even I don't know single query also no problem because I'm writing the queries are auto generator. Queries are auto generator. That's all guys. Once if you are good at a subject, you can do any mix. So last class we used Oracle database, we used HTTP database, we changed one database now. MySQL database. Any problems are there? Okay, that's it. That is what product. Last class we are getting the product form. Get the form. Today class is what? Create the form. That's all. Get the form. Display in browser. How many steps you need to follow, total? What is step one? Get the form and display in what? Second step. Process the. When you process the data, fill the form and click on what button? Save. Fill the form data and click on what button? Save button. But you click on the save button, then what happened here? The post request send it to the form is sending the post request, the client form, the client form what? Sending the post request to what? Sending the post request to server. The URL send it to the server to do what? Action. The client form sending the post request to server. The URL send it to server to do the action. What input object sending to what server? This is the dynamic forms. Working with what form? This is like working with the save product. Working with what save product. Write up points. That's all. All of you will please finish by 4 o'clock. You finish this all the what we can say. Get the form and save the date. Get the form and what? Save the working with the save product. MVC contains two projects, a single project. But rest means so you should work with how many projects? These are front end React, back end REST APIs. You should work with the two projects. Wait, how to send the data to view layer? If you want to send any details to view layer, how to send the details to view layer? View layer की data पर कहाँ पे आता है? We need to add in what object? Object. When client is asking the form, we need to send the only form. Only form. Form with the that may be empty object or it may be default values. When you get the white label error, class written when you get the white label error, right? Send the form with what? Send the form with model object. Otherwise, what are the MVC rules we need to set? What are the MVC rules? What the MVC rules tell me? It's not MVC rules like form data sending, white label error. When you get the white label error, white label error. When you get the white label error, one is what? Send the form with the model object. If you send only form, you will get what error? If you send only form, we will get what error? White label error. TH colon object name in the form, product model object name in the control both must be same. If not same, you will get what error? White label. TH colon field in the form, product model properties names must be same. If not same, you will get what? White label error. And one more here, if you see that form you are getting with the, URL should be corrected. Assume that products URL are either products ABC. Products what? ABC. That URL is there or not there? Not there. Then you get the white label. So if the URL wrong also, you get what error here? It's saying that no static resource is one found. But you can see what error gets your white label. The fourth case is what? If the URL is what found or not found, the client entered URL is not present. We will get whatever is your white label. Client URL is not present. And fifth one, you need to check all the packages are what? All the packages are sub package of main package. REST rules also you follow that from right. All packages are what? Sub packages of main package. Sub package of what? Main package. First you check these all the 5 points. Still error is not gone. You come with the laptop. But before that, you need to check. What you need to check? The URL is correct or not? All the packages or sub packages of what? Main packages or not? TH colon object, model object same or not? TH colon fields, model object fields same or not? You are sending the form with what? Model object. Send the form with model object. But if you are sending only form, well, sending what? Sending only form, you will get white label. These are the possibilities of white label errors. If a client entered wrong URL, client entered what amount? Wrong URL. The client is entered the wrong URL, we will get what? We get what error? White label error. All the packages must be All the packages must be what? All the packages are all the packages must be sub packages of what? Main package. Otherwise, we will get what? Whatever is your white label. Because MVC always you are seeing white label errors in the browser. Whatever the white label. Yeah. How many points should I know? 5. Yeah, you write that 5 points, white label error points. Previously, how many done? You write in the question number, you write the bottom question source. When we click on the button, check the below 3 questions answers. Write the answers please. What type of request the client sent to server? What URL client sent to server? What is the input data client sent to server? What is the purpose of annotation? Annotations are used to what? Give the information. Annotations are starts with what symbol? Very simple. Molecular error 5 points. Send the form with model object. What if you send the only form? Send the form with what object is model object. What if you sending only form to client? We get white label error. TH colon object name in the form. Object is transferred to a dollar, right? PH colon object in the form. Model object name. What is the return value of the view layer method? Control layer methods. What is the return value of controller methods? MVC versus rest. Hey, what the return value of controller method in MVC? The return value of controller method in MVC is string. It returns what? It returns the what name guys here? Returns the view. The return value of controller method being rested is response entity of product. It returns the JSON. JSON object, the status, board and the attack. Simply say JSON object return bits. Okay. What is the purpose of model attribute? The purpose of that model attribute is to bind the form data with the model object. That's all, guys.